G'day everyone, how's it going? Jackson here, welcome back to another Golden Pursuits run through for the Elder Scrolls Online. So this one's going to be covering the Battle of the Writhing Wall. So time codes will be in the description if you want to jump ahead, skip stuff. And also just a quick disclaimer, I don't have the Season Pass, so I cannot show you anything Siege Camp, Gisor related, or the bosses in the Writhing Fortress. Everything else though is totally fine. Everything else is base game. There's 42 options in total, 24 of them are base game, and you only need to complete 20. So, firstly, I'm just going to cover the easiest one. I'm going to go through the daily login calendar. So I assume people are already doing this one, but if you just want to make sure this one works, every time you log in, you get this announcement page that shows up. The daily reward is here, and yeah, you can actually access it here as well if you've accidentally skipped it. Now, if you want to know when the next daily reward is going to happen, go to your endeavors and check your daily endeavors window here. This reset timer here is when the daily rewards reset. So yeah, in an hour and 30 minutes, I'll have to claim it again. Yeah, just make sure every day that you're able to remember, just log in and claim one. So you only need to complete 15. There's a lot of time left to be able to check this. Even when this video comes out, there's going to be plenty of time. If you're playing on controller, accessing the daily rewards is just slightly different. So you press start, and then you go to announcement here, and then you use the directional buttons to move around. So it's just here. Yeah, the idea is the same. Alright, the first set of things I want to cover is enemies and foes and killing stuff. So the best course of action is to just start in Coldharbour and kill any Bestial Daedra and Humanoid Daedra in here, because it also works for defeating enemies. Now, for everything here, I'm pretty sure you don't actually have to kill them, as long as you did some damage and then they die, that's it. You don't actually have to get the last hit, I'm pretty sure. It's only anything where it says killing with class abilities, killing with weapon skills, scribe abilities, yeah. Everything else I think is fine. So, Coldharbour. Firstly, if you haven't been here before, normally you have to do majority of the main quest line with the banished to Coldharbour, all that stuff. But there is a way to get here if you haven't done those quests before. It's just that you can't access this section here. Now, if you want to access the southern side, you can use home tours, go to Coldharbour Surreal Estate that somebody owns, and just travel out of the house, come out here, and you'll have access to this entire section here. If you want access to this side, get a player to bring you over here. If you aren't able to travel around anywhere here, ask them to go to one of the delves in this northern side, Wailing Moor or Malsaurus Tomb, and travel to them there. Now, if you don't understand home tours and how you can use it to teleport around the place, I have a video in the description you can check out. It's called it's Home Tours for Convenience. So it's part of a tutorial series I've started. So it just goes through very briefly how to use home tours to that effect. Now, there are a lot of places that you can kill Bestial Daedra and Humanoid Daedra in this place. But the problem is, especially at prime time where everybody's online, there are likely going to be a lot of people doing the same thing, because unfortunately, the entirety of Coldharbour is a overland area where everybody else has access to the same stuff that you can access. Vault of Madness doesn't count as killing foes in Coldharbour, I'm afraid. So don't bother with this one here. Assuming nobody is around, the best option for you by far is going to be Village of the Lost. There are literally hundreds of Humanoid Daedra in here, and there's a few Bestial Daedra, nowhere near as many. But Bestial Daedra is easier to do later, because I find, especially in Overland, there's just a lot more places. So this is the number one option. If you come here though, and there's just fucking people everywhere, and everything's just dying too fast, consider some other options here. So, firstly, the Cave of Trophies. This has Humanoid Daedra and Bestial Daedra. This is great. The Grotto of Depravity also has both. The Wailing Moor has Humanoid Daedra. Places such as the Library of Dusk, this area over here, has Humanoid Daedra. you'll be able to find Bestial Daedra in the form of Ogrims in the Tower of Lies, but just be aware that unless you complete the quest, you can't actually leave here unless you use home tours or something to get back out. You'll also find Humanoid and Bestial Daedra all over the map, just in various places. For example, if I come out here, just outside of the Cave of Trophies, there's just a couple of Banekin just here, chilling. So you just find this all over the shop. You just have to look around. Now, as a last resort, do consider that every delve, every enemy, regardless of if they're Humanoid Daedra or not, or Bestial Daedra, still count as defeating enemies in Coldharbour. Vampires in the Orchid, Draugr in the Vault of Haman Forgefire, vampires in Black Forge, stuff like that, they all count. The only things that don't count is anything in Vaults of Madness. Everything else here is fair game. Also, the Shadow Walkers in the Moonless Walk. So any of that stuff still counts for the Golden Pursuit. So if you're struggling to find anything of substance in any of the Humanoid Daedra and the Bestial Daedra options, maybe try just doing some of these other delves like this, and then work on the Bestial and Humanoid Daedra in other zones, because there are still lots of other locations to find them. It's just that it's just specific to Coldharbour here, is why everyone's trying to use the other options. Okay, once you've done all your Coldharbour foes, I think the next best option for you is, if you have the Season Pass, to do the Siege Camp. So I'll just quickly cover Siege Camps now. As I said, I don't have the DLC, so I can't show you, but I can give you a lot of information about this. So there's 5 Siege Camps. 1, 2 at the north, 2 at the south, and then 1 in the central area. Now, it's just like Domins. One of these will be up at a time, and what you need to do is just check the map. It'll look like this when one of them's up. So it'll have the twin swords icon that indicates that Siege Camp is currently active. Now, if you can't see these, you might have to just go up to each one and just discover it first, and then they'll start showing they're under attack. But I don't know, maybe they've changed it the way these ones work. The other thing is, there's a couple of other things you're going to do while you do Siege Camps too, which makes it even better. So, firstly, the Soul Reaper devices. Instead of the anchor pinions like you would have in the Domins, instead of that, you'd just have Soul Reaper devices that you got to destroy. I'm pretty sure these ones, the ones there, still count for this. And there's also the Meridian Lens. This is a quest that you'll get in Stirk. I'll explain this in one of the later videos. But you just go to Stirk, there's a NPC. She looks like this. So find this lady here, get the quest from her, and it'll the souls that you got to collect is going to be the Daedra at those Meridian. The Siege Camps works for that. There's also this quest giver here, which you'll find at this location here. You'll find both of these NPCs here, I'm pretty sure, at the Fellowship area, as well as the other NPCs. But these are the important ones for Siege Camp. The other one, the Khajiit, she asks you just to destroy Siege Camp. And once you do, you can hand in a quest for her and you get some extra stuff. So it's just worth doing that. And then obviously, if you read the section here, there's also these are just the bosses that you get while you're doing the Siege Camp. So you'll just complete these while you're doing Siege Camps too. So I don't know what the difference between defending or recapturing Siege Camps is. Yeah. After watching a video of like how they work, I don't even know how that works. But yeah. I assume you would just get these done as you go. But there's a lot of Siege Camp stuff. It's like half of the Golden Pursuit stuff. I guess I should also cover this one. Based on my knowledge as well, there will be a quest in Stirk where once the Writhing Wall event is completely done, stage 1, 2, and 3 are done, then you'll be able to get the quest to complete this. So this is just one you'll just get. You can't do it right now, but you'll get this one later. Yeah, definitely do the Siege Camps first over the other stuff after you've done Coldharbour stuff. And then I'll go through the base game options now. Don't worry, there are still fucking shit tons of good base game options. Heaps. Okay, after Siege Camps and after Coldharbour is done, there are a lot of places that you can find Daedra, and I'm sure I'm going to miss out a lot of people's favourite ones, and I'm sorry for that. If you have some good options that I don't talk about, I suggest you put them in the comments. I'm sure people will make use of them. But I just want to go through what I think are the most efficient, because that's what you want. Most of these are overland, so unfortunately it's going to be more about efficient when nobody else is doing them. But I'll also try and go through some good options for instant public dungeons in the game, because there's some good ones. So, Stanguin's Domain. This is probably one of the most common ones to use. This is in the northern side of Shadowfen. You can use home tours with the Amphil Domicile to get here quickly. So immediately you've got a Dremora here, you can just kill this guy. There's also an Ogrim. So that's obviously a Humanoid Daedra, this is a Bestial Daedra. So those two right there count for the pursuit. So you've got this group here, there's a chest there as well. This group over here. Now with the Writhing Wall event, there's like these Daedric invasions that occur inside public dungeons, and this is where one of them starts. Some of these enemies here don't actually count as Daedra, so yeah, it's a bit annoying, but yeah. Normally there'd be Humanoid Daedra right here, like all of them. So yeah, you can just keep going through there, and all along through here there's just Daedra that you can kill. These bosses here, sometimes they'll be like ghosts and shit, and they won't count, so just, yeah, worth keeping that in mind too. But yeah, you can just run through here and kill lots of shit. So that room there, I like that hallway there, is good. In here is good because you've got some Daedra there. You've got some Daedra over here as well, or Humanoid Daedra. So yeah, just run through this public dungeon and kill what you can find. But if it gets too crowded, you might want to go somewhere else. Okay, if you have the Necrom... Excuse me? Or I was really interrupted. If you have the Necrom DLC, Dawn has a lot of Dark Seducers and Golden Saints, as well as some Bestial Daedra. This could be another good option. The Oblivion Portals in Blackwood, because you can use these to go to an area. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But it's a plane in Oblivion, and it just has lots and lots of Humanoid Daedra and Bestial Daedra, so you can use this one as well if you have the Blackwood DLC. It's great. The Underweave in Apocrypha also has Humanoid Daedra. The Infinite Archive, where is it? What did it count as? A dungeon. Okay. Infinite Archive, you will likely see some Daedra in here, but it'll take you a while to get 100 of each in here, because it's just like 3 per round. There's much better options for that. Westweald, Leftweald Trading Post. The Recollection enemies are just regular, like, Wood Elves, but the Dream... the Shardborn clan are Humanoid Daedra, so they should work too. There's nothing worth anything in Ceylon. It's all just like goblins and shit. Nothing in Elsewhere that's really worth doing public dungeons wise. Same thing with Hrothgar. It's just humanoids, like regular humanoid enemies, and mostly Dwemer and like barbaric foes in here too. Maelstrom Arena, you can get a few of both, a fair bit, but only in the first 8th, 6th, and last wave, I'd say, and it does take quite a while to do it. Then after that, you've got tons of places in the Overland that just have regular, like just Bestial Daedra and Humanoid Daedra all over the shop. Like, let me go through some examples here. Ash Mountain, there's Scamps and Clanfear all over the shop here. In Oridon, in Toronan, you've got lots of Humanoid Daedra. Sorry, not Humanoid Daedra. Bestial Daedra here. It's Scamps and Clanfear as well there. In Dawnbreak, you've also got some Bestial Daedra. I think in the second phase it becomes Humanoid Daedra as well. Brothers of Strife in Stonefalls 2. This area has Scamps as well, so that one could be good. If you're looking for a lot of Bestial Daedra, Damar Farmstead is another good option with Banekin and Daedroth. There's a lot of that, and there's also a house right here that you can use through home tours. This one, it's these Oasis, so look up that if you want, because yeah, Damar Farmstead's really great, and I usually don't see many people here. Okay, now I think it's worth discussing instance areas, because instance areas are different from those in the Overland, things like public dungeons and dells, because if you go in on your own, nobody else can get in there and kill the stuff. you just jump in, everything's spawned, ready to fight, and you're just wasting less time killing everything. It's more efficient. Now, one that I'll just quickly cover is with trials, right? Lucent Citadel. This is the only trial of all of the... I know I said solo, but just talking about trials real quick. This is the only one that gives you anything like remotely... like anything, a lot of humanoid Daedra, because there's a lot in here. The Dramoras, like there's quite a lot of them in here. Okay, the first option I want to go through for instance locations is Elden Hollow 2. Elden Hollow 2 is great because it's got a good mix of both. It's more humanoid Daedra, but there's a lot of both in here. Now, it isn't the easiest dungeon to do, but there's no specific mechanics stopping you from being able to solo this. So yeah, if you just want if you're confident in your capabilities and you want to be able to do this without other people interfering, this is a great way to do it. As soon as you get in, Banekin, and as soon as you damage one of them, some Daedra or some Dramora will spawn for humanoid Daedra purposes. You can see the enemies don't have that much health so long as you got a good build. Coming to the next room, same thing. You'll see bestial Daedra all over the shop, humanoid Daedra all over the shop. More of them spawn. What I would do is just run over to a spot like this, pull all the ranged enemies close enough, move past, go to the ranged enemies, and then stack everything together, like so. Yeah, you can see another guy over here. Let's grab him. Yeah, so you stack on the ranged enemies, the melees come to you anyway, so don't need to worry about getting them all together. And yeah, you can just see all the enemies are flocking over, so. Okay. So, unfortunately, in order to progress through this room, you have to kill the boss. As you can see, that room is closed. So my suggestion is just grab everything, pull it over to this hallway, and that way all the ranged enemies will stack all together. And again, yes, I know it'll force you to go into this room. It's annoying, but you can force all the enemies to go to the same spot. And again, I'll just do the same thing to pull this other guy over, because they were calling in their bloody annoying ass thing there. Alright, this guy doesn't have a lot of health. Okay, probably the most annoying thing about this dungeon is this fucking portal here. Normally it takes fucking forever for the boss to come out of this, but they will come out eventually. Okay, I was lucky this time. I think if you're doing the quest, it can take fucking ages for them to rock up. Yeah, this boss is pretty damn straightforward. They just spawn a couple of Horvors every now and then. And the Horvors, if you stand inside the AoEs that get created once you kill them, so these guys here. So if I kill the blue one, it creates a blue AoE. If I stand in it, my magicka goes really, really high. So you start doing way more damage. Yeah, it's a very unique effect that this boss has. I don't think I've seen it in anything else. Okay. And now you've basically got access to the entire rest of the dungeon. So at this point, if you want, you can go straight through here. There's enemies here. You grab this guy, and he will cause a lot of other ones to spawn. So what I'll do instead is I'll just show you. Where's the jump down? It's not there, is it? I'm pretty sure there's another way. There's like isn't there like a mushroom you can stand on? No. Okay. Yeah, so you got more enemies in here. Same thing. So if they pull, they spawn like enemies from portals and shit. And same thing in here. As soon as you grab as soon as you come in here, the portals will spawn and they'll start spawning enemies. So again, if you just come over here, this will cause all the enemies to come forward, and they will just over time spawn from these portals anyway. So yeah, it's really good for just stacking all the enemies up here. Now, if you want to progress even further, I don't really suggest it too much, because through there's just a couple more humanoid Daedra and then one like it's Bogdan, it's like the last boss. After that, it's nothing else, so it's not really worth doing. But in order to unlock that, you have to beat the second main boss, which I'll show you where to go. But again, it's just that boss in a single room, basically, aside of a couple of like Humanoid Daedra. But yeah, I'll just show you anyway. Yeah, after beating all the enemies in this room, you just come over here and you just head through this portal, and that will take you to the boss. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of stuff in here, and if we just have a look... Yeah, we've gone up a little bit. Right, Bench Cells 1. This is on the very northern edge of Addons. Unfortunately, getting here is a pain in the ass because this is the closest house. But yeah, you use home tools to get here as well, as always. So, the very first thing is there's 3 Banekin in this room, so just kill these guys, and then head through. If you can, just avoid fighting any of these skeletons in any of these rooms. They will count for defeating enemies, but not for either of the Daedra options. So, in this group here, there's nothing worth fighting, but in here, there's a couple of scamps. Kill these guys here, there's another one over here. And then kill this group here, and it'll unlock the next door. Now, there's a lot of skeletons that will spawn when you get into this room, but you can skip them if you want. So there's a stone switch here. If you hit this, it causes a bunch of clan fears to spawn. Sorry, not clan fears, Banekin. So you can pull them on their own, I believe. Yeah. So if I just go into this corner, it just stops me from aggroing the skeletons. So obviously, again, if you want the defeat enemies one, kill the skeletons. But if you just want the bestial Daedra, this is a way to get a bunch of Banekin. And the other switch starts the boss, so it's not really worth doing. So yeah, that's a bunch of bestial Daedra there. Because there's so many more options for Humanoid Daedra in public dungeons and group dungeons, I just find this one's not as important. So this option here, just do that, leave, wait 5 minutes, come back in, just do this a couple of times, and yeah, you'll get a bunch of bestial Daedra. Okay, option number 3, last of what I think are the great base game options. You've also got City of Ash 2, but it's a lot more advanced. So, Vaults of Madness. I know I did talk about this not being a good option for Coldharbour foes, but for bestial and Humanoid Daedra, it's great. I'll show you why. There is only there's 2 issues, I suppose. I'll show you what. So, you just gotta wait a bit for this door, because this harvester over here will start the quest. Yeah, you just wait a bit and this door will open. You've got 2 groups of Daedra and skeletons here. There's a few Dremora, so Humanoid Daedra, but there's only a few there, so it's not really worth too much doing that. Now, this Watcher, they count as bestial Daedra, so they can be used. Right, just give me 1 sec, I'll just move this around. Okay, so this boss here... What am I in combat with? Oh, what? Alright. I guess he is a Watcher. Okay, so this is caveat number 1. So this group of skeletons here, no worries. Just kill them and be done with it. This guy, though, he puts a tether on you, and it deals damage based on how much damage you're dealing to him. So if I just go like this, it doesn't deal much damage. If I hit him with Soul Harvest, it does a bit. But if I start hitting him over and over, I'll just start taking way more damage. So yeah. Best way to not die there is to just not deal as much damage to him. I think every hit you put on him does like X amount of damage. So yeah, don't... if the whole group is hitting him, he basically one-shots you. That's what I've found. So in solo it's okay, but just be a bit mindful of that. This boss though is the main issue with this dungeon. Now I do want to check. For here, you can open it if the Ogrim is killed. I don't know if you need to kill the boss though. There's a few more Humanoid and bestial Daedra here. Okay, so you do need to kill that boss. So if you don't kill the Harvester, this door doesn't open. That's the issue. If both the Ogrim there and this boss are killed, that door opens. So this boss is a fucking pain in the ass, because every now and then she'll stun you for like 30 seconds. I'm waiting for it. There it is. Okay, so while this happens, you literally can't do anything. I'm pressing all the buttons, nothing. So yeah. Now on normal, you can get away with it. You just gotta survive a couple of hits. But on veteran, I'm pretty sure it's not possible. Yeah, on normal, it's just fine. Yeah, you just do nothing for a while. And it will happen a couple of times during the fight. So if possible, if you really want to make sure you're safe from that, just bring a healer companion or just bring a friend and just do it together. Because remember, you don't have to kill the enemies here, you just have to deal a bit of damage to them. I'm pretty sure I think in a group it also counts for both of you anyway. Yeah, you'll see these feast orbs will give her some health. Don't worry. It doesn't give her that much. God. Oh my god. Oh, she'll probably die to the AoE. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Alright, so now that that's done, this door should open? Yeah, there you go. Alright, so from here, this is... Once you've beaten that boss, everything else is really easy. So, you've got a group of enemies here, group of enemies here. Just Humanoid Daedra and Bestial Daedra all over the place there. You got some more Bestial Daedra over here. Over here, there's a bunch of Humanoid and Bestial Daedra. There's also a boss in this corner here. I'm pretty sure after that boss walks a certain distance, you get aggro by them. Like, even through invisibility. Yeah, lots of Bestial Daedra here. You can see why I do this. It's so good. Okay, keep coming down here. Just mind your step down here, because falling down there is death. Okay, just pull all these enemies. Come over here, pull all the ranged enemies into one spot. It doesn't really matter, they will die super quick, but yeah. If you really want to make sure they're all in the same spot, that's how you do it. Block Agony, don't roll dodge it. And yeah, it's the same thing down here. Fight this group here, and there's a couple more Humanoid Daedra. There's another boss here. In order to progress, you need to kill this boss, because this door is actually closed until you beat them. Or is it? I wonder. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. So yeah, you can't progress until they're dead. But yeah, past there's just more Humanoid Daedra and Bestial Daedra all over the place. So this dungeon's great. The only problem is you might have to get someone to bring you here. If it's not on your map, go to the tavern in Coldharbour. There should be a ghost NPC you can talk to in here. He's the undaunted person you're supposed to give a drink to, for that achievement. I think if you talk to them, they will add it to your map and then you can travel to it. I think. That might work too. Then, there's a lot of DLC dungeons that have Humanoid Daedra in them or Bestial Daedra. You can check those out too. One of the good examples is the Cauldron. But yeah, these three dungeons here, Elden Hollow 2, Vanished Souls 1, and Vaults of Madness, everybody has access to them, so you don't have to worry about which DLCs you own. Okay, now on to world bosses. So if I were you, I would choose between either the Western Overlook, this one here, because this is probably the easiest one to get to in the game from the get-go, assuming you have no waste shuns. If you do, I'll go through some other options, but the reason this one's so good is this waste shun's unlocked by default. So if you just spawn here, just jump down here. Western Overlook is pretty much right here. And the odds are there'll be other people waiting here. Like, you can see all these people wanting to do the same thing. It depends on the time of day. I find there'll be more people here if it's like sort of prime time. But yeah, it just depends on the time. But yeah, there should be some people here. The biggest problem with world bosses is they're a damage sponge. They do a fair bit of damage to you, but they just take ages to kill, especially on your own. So either you want to try and just make sure there's people here, and that'll make these generally easier. Or you can use companions if you have them available. I like to use companions with like heavy armor and like the ability to taunt. I think vigorous is, you can either go vigorous, bolstered, or just go quicken. Quicken's fine too. That, or you can go like a healer and just run soothing, soothing and quickened, and maybe prolific if you have the ultimate. Yeah, either of those is better, I think. Damage dealers, especially melee ones, they tend to die much quicker, I find, than anything else. Range damage dealers are okay, but sometimes they still get aggro of the boss, and I find them to be also, they sometimes get wrecked. But definitely much better than the melee ones. Essentially, just don't use melee damage dealer companions. Everything else is probably fine. Yeah, you really don't need to do much if there's a group here. If you're on your own, yeah, it's a different story. With Limb Gather, he does a lot of damage with his attacks, but they come out slow. So if you just block everyone every now and then, you'll take a lot less damage. The biggest problem is this like bitch slap. It does a shit ton of damage and comes out really fast. You can block it, but you have to be very, very quick. You have to react very fast. Let's go through some other options. If you want to, because it's annoying getting back up to the Way Shrine from here, either use Rosy Lion to travel directly, just go outside and you'll come back up here, and then you can just hop outside and use the Way Shrine from there. And then maybe you can go check out some other world bosses if you just want to spend your time going to other bosses and getting it done quicker. Or you can just chill here, wait for it to respawn again, just like watch YouTube or read up some stuff in the background. Because yeah, you can do this, like you can just chillax while waiting for it to spawn, and you have ages before it'll get killed again. So as long as you do a little bit of damage, it'll count. You don't have to actually kill it yourself for this to work. But yeah, let's go through some other, well, I think better alternatives, but you need the Way Shrines, obviously. Okay, one of the bosses I consider to be the easiest to deal with is probably Starter. This is the Lesser Circle in Ellicott Desert. If you have this Way Shrine, it's probably the quickest way here. If you have this house, you can use this through, well, no, you can just use this house through home tours to get here. Just you come up here. I'm pretty sure you can just travel this way, and yeah, it's just dunes all the way through here. Now, the reason I suggest Starter so much is half the shit she does is AoEs that you can easily avoid. So all you have to do is just slowly circle around her like this, and you will avoid most of the shit that she does. Do your best not to interrupt, because if you do that, she'll do less stuff. Like if you interrupt this, she tends to light attack a bit more, because the cooldown between attacks is higher. So yeah, just like all I have is Surge, right? I just get a bit of healing from damage done, but like you can just see how many times she just doesn't do anything, as long as you just travel in a circle, and when the gradual AoE from the explosion comes out, you just step back a bit. So this one here, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's a very easy fight. There's no adds that spawn. There's no other like special attack. She doesn't get like an execute extra effect. Yeah, it's just very easy. You can almost, like, if you have enough health recovery, you could probably do this as well. And yeah, like bonus, well, companions are a bit different, right? In some fights, companions are really good, but I find they struggle with this one because they don't know to get out of the AoEs in time, so they do. I do find that they struggle more than in other cases. Probably one of the best for them is, I would say, now Lost Caravan to the south. This one's very similar. I hear a lot of people say that it's easier than this boss, but I disagree. I think solo, this boss is just mind-blowingly easy. But if you have a tanking companion, or there's like other people, yeah, probably the Dune Ripper down there is fucking easy. Now the amount of damage this does is a lot, okay? I will admit. If you get hit by that, it's rough. But if that happens, just run, heal, and kite, because it is just a melee enemy. Remember that too. Okay, I'll speed this up. Yeah, I interrupted that, so probably going to be a bit more melee attacks, but that's fine. Oh no, she just did it straight away. I guess sometimes you get lucky. I guess I should use my own synergy, shouldn't I? I'm not used to it. Okay, so yeah, very easy, that one. Another great boss is the Brahma's Grove in Stonefalls. This one here, it is a little similar, but it's a little bit more like Lost Caravan, the Dune Ripper in Alikir. But look at this. Look at how long it just sits there and does that. As long as you don't interrupt it there, it will just sit there doing nothing basically for ages. The only thing is, it does a little bit more melee attacks than Starter does. But the amount of time it just sits there doing the big circle AoE is just like crazy. I'll see if I can get it to go for me, because it's better if it stands still. If you can get a boss to stand still where there's other people, it's helpful, because AoEs, like ground targeted AoEs, are like one of the best things for damage dealers in PvE. There we go. Okay. Yeah, just stand still. And honestly, sorcerers, you can just sit here and spam crystal frags, because if you have the passives for it, it just heals you every time you use it. So. Yeah, very easy this one as well. So, getting here, I would say the quickest way is using Ebony Flask in-room or Ebonheart Chateau through home tours. There's also Strasform Hive, easy to get to, but just like Limsgather in Western Overlook, it's quite a tough fight. There's also, in Oridon, another easy one to get to is Soulfire Plateau. A little bit more tough, I think, as well. Now, I do want to make a case. If you look up easiest world bosses on search tabs, if you get AI to give you recommendations, be very fucking careful, because some of this shit is absolute nonsense. Aurigmire is quite possibly the toughest world boss in Stonefalls. He is fucking brutal, okay? Do not do this for an easy one. It's good for there's a certain drop that she gives for Mythic, but no, absolutely not. Same with also Navintas. This is not a world boss. This is a fucking trial boss. I don't understand what the fuck's going on here. I also saw another AI search give me the unfinished Dolmen in Orsinium. Now I think that is quite possibly one of the hardest world bosses as well. Like way harder than Aurigmire. This one is fucked. Don't even bother with this one either. Also, another one that you absolutely want to avoid is if you have the Murkmire DLC, Walks Like Thunder, Echoing Hollow over here. This dude is, as far as I'm aware, the last time I fought him, pretty much impossible to solo. He creates like these totems. It's a Myrgaunt, and you know Myrgaunts, they create stone totems. They heal him, and the amount that they heal him for is quite crazy, and the amount of health that the stone totems have is fucking ridiculous. It's like 700,000 health or some shit last time I checked. I should go and check again, it's been a while, but yeah, I remember this boss being literally impossible to solo. So yeah, that's my advice there. So to recap, Limsgather if you want something easy at Western Overlook to get to, because Daggerfall Wayshine's unlocked by default. Same with Stonefalls with Stripestorm Hive. But if you want the easiest one in the game, I'd say Elika Desert with Lesser Circle. Starter, she's very easy. This one here, pretty easy too, especially if you have a companion. This one here, also very easy, especially if you have a companion. Because yeah, other than the AoE, this boss does basically nothing else aside from regular attacks. Okay, so this is it's one of these Reaper thingy events. Soul Reaper devices. So if you see, this is what you want to look for. It's like just like a civilian and a Fighters Guild NPC. This is usually an indication that one of these is here. There's a bunch of enemies will spawn, kill them. Another group of enemies will spawn. One of the enemies will be like a tougher opponent, usually. And then, yeah, you can just complete it after that. Really, really easy to do. All the enemies here are pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's usually a Grievous Twilight from what I found. I don't really see any other, like, big enemies. And then you destroy the Soul Reaper device, and that's it. Blow that up, and we're done. So, that will progress this. As far as I'm aware, when you do siege camps, this is basically what replaces the pinion in those, because they're like sort of like dolmens, same sort of idea. So yeah, you'll probably get some of these done while you do siege camps. So just consider that. Secondly, the Meridian Lens quest. This is a good way to get Vitriol souls for it. Looking for these at the same time if you want to do both. Now, what you want to look for on the main map, on the zone maps, is these things here, these dark fissures. These are where these things spawn. You'll probably have to go through quite a few, just like you would with like thieves' probes and stuff like that. Start looking around for them. The add-on that shows these on the map is called Map Pins. I'll make sure there's in the description there's a link to it for the ESOUI mod page or add-on page for it. Because yeah, this shows them on the map. Otherwise, you're really going to be just sort of throwing around like swinging a sword in the dark, trying to figure out where the fuck these things are. You can look on maps everywhere. There's like guides that show you where these dark fissures are. So yeah, I'd recommend just using map pins for the convenience. Okay, now let's take a look at the invaded Delver public dungeon bosses. So any delve that you've discovered, or public dungeon, that has an invasion going on, it'll show up with this like blue effect in the background. If you haven't discovered them yet, it won't show. Inner Sea Armature is one of the delves that, as an example here, that has this going on. Every zone has a public dungeon. All the public dungeons have invasions going on, and they always have one of the delves that's also got an invasion going on. The only things that work for this are the actual bosses. None of the regular enemies count for this. Now, be warned, the public dungeon bosses, the invasion bosses, they're actually they're pretty tough to do on your own. With a couple of people, they're much easier, but there's especially one, there's like a ghost dude, who if you try and fight him on your own, you want to be familiar with like some of the things he does, because it can be very difficult to deal with him on your own if you're not too well versed in fighting bosses. These guys are, unlike the bosses that you'll find in the regular like public dungeons, there's just like a group of different bosses that will spawn from any of them. It's like, this might be a different boss next time, but it's just random. Unlike the regular ones, which they're just specific bosses for that public dungeon. So it's like, as far as I'm aware, I've only seen like 3. Is this guy, there's like a 2-handed maul guy, and then there's like this ghost dude that is fucking brutal. The ghost is by far the worst. Yeah, some of these guys are yeah, the difficulty kind of fluctuates dramatically. Like seriously, the ghost dude is such a pain in the ass to deal with. Oh, hold on, I'll see if I can find them. So, what I suggest you do is get you'll have map pins if you did doing the Reaper devices. When you look on the map, if the boss at this location is different to what is shown on here, then it is one of the invasion bosses. That's the easiest way to know. Because yeah, it'll replace like a couple of the bosses with one of the special bosses. That's just a wisp that spawns in the actual area. That's native to Crowswood. This one feels really easy. Oh, never mind. Maybe it is a specific thing to this boss. Yeah, that boss is... Wow, the difference between them is so fucking crazy. Like, the ghost dude is way worse. The Crowswood is really easy to use here. So this is Stonefalls, Devon's Watch, a wayshrine you start with. You just go down the wall down here, go down here, and then you'll get easy access to Crowswood. And then in Crowswood, you just go to the west side over here, and where Buron and Moonlit Maiden are, these are invasion bosses. So you can just go back and forth between these two. There's just a couple of enemies in the way here, but yeah, there's not that much. You also got... in Glenumbra, Badman's Hollows. This one here is also very easy to reach. I honestly, if you're just going to go these, I wouldn't go any further than that. Okay, I think I stand corrected. That dude still had a shit ton of health. I'll have to do more testing, but yeah, just based on this information, I would say it's best to go to the starting public dungeons and just back and forth just do them when there's players around, or... Yeah, I honestly, like Crowswood, you can just go back and forth because there's two right there. There'll always be multiple of these bosses in each of the public dungeons, and it's best to find a public dungeon that there's just multiple right next to each other. Oh, hello. What the fuck? That was quick. Yeah, okay, so I stand corrected. This is literally the same fucking boss from the public dungeon. Why would they put these both in Dells? Dells is supposed to be, like, easier. Yeah, this boss is really easy. It's honestly the easiest one. Like, compared to the Ghost Dude, the Ghost Dude's fucking brutal. Alright, I apologize, I stand corrected. I thought these were going to be, like... more based on solo play, but they're not. Okay, you get the point. So, personally, I would just stick to public dungeons, because or the, like, the areas, or the ones closest to a wayshrine that people start with, because there's probably going to be more people there. These things have so much health, you're not really going to need to worry about, like, getting a hit on them before they die, because 1,000,000 health is a lot. Like, that's... Oh, shit! This is the fucking bullshit one. Okay. So I'll try and do this as best I can, but I struggle with this guy even. So the biggest problems are, 1, he has really hard hitting heavy attacks. 2, he has this attack, which, like, almost one-shots you. And he's also got this, like, this tether attack that will stun you. This one here. I can't do anything. I'm spamming breaking free, I'm spamming all the buttons, can't do anything. So you just basically have to just accept your fate there. If you have enough self-healing, like Nightblades are great because they got Strife, which heals you over time, but you just kind of got to, yeah, either someone needs to be here to help you, or you just have to, yeah, have enough healing to get through it, and then just kite him, because everything he does, like, hits like a truck. This attack here, yeah, that one scares me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that dude there's probably the most bullshit boss, and for that reason, I suggest that you just use the public dungeons that are easy to reach, or the public dells that are easy to reach, because they do spawn very quickly. So even in like the, yeah, honestly, just do one of those 2 dells there. The one at Glenumbra here, just stay there and wait for them to respawn quickly, or Inner Sea Armature, these 2 here. You can also use the public dungeons too, because the enemies are fucking exactly the same. Look at that, there's another one there that's spawned. Yeah, honestly, normally I hate dells for stuff like this, but this is honestly a better option. Alright, I haven't fought the bow guy yet. I'll see what this guy's like, just to see if he's anywhere near as bad as the ghost guy. Okay, apparently I can't interrupt him. I've noticed that, oh wow, that did a lot of damage. Yeah, this guy hurts too. What the hell? Maybe a little bit of that is because I'm a vampire. You can't interrupt him. Why have an interrupt symbol on him if he can't be interrupted?
Oh, this game is fucking... It's getting worse and worse. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Yeah, that dude's kind of brutal too. Yeah, the ghost guy, the archer guy, they're quite tough. Yeah, the archer guy, nowhere near as bad as the ghost guy still. Oops. Okay, so I'll leave it there for part 1. Part 2, I'll be covering mostly the Sturt quests. So the Meridian Lens quests, the Fellowship quests, also the trials, just some basic information about how to do those, as well as Master It's as well. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions, as always, just give me a holler. Take care for now. I'll see you next time.